I've just been really overwhelmed by the feeling of loneliness. It's felt so meh. I've cried myself to sleep a few times now. Hi. I wanted to make this video because I have some emotions, some feelings I've been dealing with for quite a long time now, and I wanted to find a home for them outside of my head. So bear with me. My thoughts are all over the place. I don't have a note. I just can't seem to put it down. I know what I want to talk about. I've written about it here and there in my journal, and I don't know, I've just been really overwhelmed by them lately. The very first one is the feeling of loneliness. Honestly, for as long as I can remember, I have felt this way. And I don't want to mislabel myself or label myself and say it's depression, because I do know people who live with this debilitating disease, mental disorder, where they can't even function and some contemplate like taking their lives. I've never felt that way. I never think, oh, I don't want to be a part of this life. Actually, it's quite the opposite. I'm very scared of dying. But oftentimes I'm just always sitting here wondering, like, is this it? What else is there? I don't know, like a long time. It got worse in college, and anytime I think about college, I really get emotional. I hated being in college. The 4 years I spent in college were actually the darkest time of my life. I was so lonely. I didn't open up to people easily. I didn't trust people. I just didn't feel like people were true. So it wasn't until like me joining my rugby team and then eventually like studying abroad was what changed like the monotony of the life I had. Changed it. I had something exciting to look forward to. So I was excited for like the 4 months I was studying abroad. And later on in college, I opened up to a few people where I've also kept in contact with them even long after college now. But that feeling just never left. I remember one time my senior year, it would be Friday night and I would be in my room. So the way my college was set up, like there's an area where seniors lived, and it was because my school is kind of like on a hilltop. That area is called Uppers, where seniors lived. And I would just stay outside my window watching people go by, like people coming to Uppers for like parties and socializing and doing things people do in college. I never wanted to be a part of it because I don't drink, so whenever I'm in that space I'm usually uncomfortable. But then I was all alone by myself, like months, years. I was just alone. It's just always weird. I never totally feel completely at home in the circles I've tried to be a part of. And I don't know. I don't know what caused it. I don't know if there's a solution to it, Oh, it's really hard. It's really hard. And this past couple of weeks, it's gotten worse because obviously I live alone. And like I said, apologies, my thoughts are gonna be all over the place. Like usually, like oftentimes if people are like struggling in their lives, or maybe they're dealing with like moments of depression, they may say, oh, I'm gonna distract myself with my work and stuff like that, I don't even have that because I don't derive passion or joy. I don't derive joy from the work I do. Disclaimer. I have one of the best working place anyone could ask for. I actually feel quite blessed. I'm so lucky. My previous school that I worked at here, amazing. When I came back, the second time I was praying for the same, situation, and just exactly that. I'll give you an example. Last week, I had a headache towards the end of Monday. So when I got home, I was not feeling well. I do not have medicine at home, so I didn't use any medicine. And then going into Tuesday, the following day, I still was not feeling well. And I knew I would not enjoy being at work, so I decided to take the day off. Sent a message to my point of contact at school. I'm not coming to school today. I'm sorry. I will hopefully be at school the next day. So on Wednesday, I went to work. I didn't have the headache, but I just wasn't feeling like chipper. So I was quite like low energy. So one of my teachers, a third grade teacher, noticed. She was like, oh, are you okay? I heard you were sick yesterday. I was like, oh, it's just a headache. She was like, oh, let me take you. So she took me to what you would consider the sick bay. Do you call it sick bay in America? The nurse's office. And then they gave me Tylenol. So that was last week Wednesday. Yesterday, I was getting out of work. I saw the same teacher and she was like, are you okay? Like, I have not stopped thinking about you. I was worried because you didn't feel well. I was like, oh no, I'm much better now. Thank you for thinking about me. And it's not just her, really. It's her, other teachers in the 4th grade, teachers in the 5th grade, teachers in the 6th, my vice principal, just constantly checking on me. Even when I'm not like sick, just like wondering if I'm doing okay. I don't know what I did. I guess my mom's prayers answered, because she's always praying that wherever I work, that I will find people who will act like family members and friends to me. And that's all I've ever found. So I definitely feel blessed in that area. However, I do not enjoy teaching anymore. Okay, let's take it back to 2017. When I first came to Korea, I loved it. I was excited about the work, the environment, my students. And I guess having those students also helped, because I couldn't have a bad day, because I always had to worry about my students. Whenever I walked into the school, they would run towards me with excitement and joy, screaming my name. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know why, but they were just always so excited. So whenever I was dealing with emotions of my own, I would always have to think about them. Okay, I don't want to bring this to them. I don't want to have this energy in front of the students. So in a way, it did help, because then I was always watching and regulating my behavior. Towards the end of my 2nd year, I started feeling like, yeah, okay, what else now? This job is getting boring. There's nothing else to it. And, I returned home for many reasons. I wanted to see if I could go to grad school. I was hoping if I changed my space, I would find a partner in America where there was more diversity. My mom was like, you need to come home. I don't know why you're still there. So all of these reasons, I went home. America wasn't it. I had a job. I had like several jobs, like part-time jobs here and there. Eventually, I found like a long-term job that I had up until when I came here. I was making almost twice as what I make here now. So it's not money that made me come back. It was just that feeling returned. I had this job as an administrative assistant. I actually got the job in January of 2020. Obviously, COVID started, so I started working from home in March. So I worked for a whole year, March to April of 2021 with that job. I had the best boss in the whole world. She was amazing. When I got the job, she was telling me, let me know how much you want me to be involved in your roles. You just tell me. She was just so cool. And so it was amazing. It was comfortable. I was given freedom to do as much as I want. My schedule was flexible. But it was not what I wanted to do, obviously. It was just a job that I could make money with. That feeling never left. Like, what am I supposed to be doing on this earth? So I also did not enjoy living in America at the time anymore. It made me so paranoid. I was always afraid of shootings, even though I'd never experienced one. But it was not a healthy feeling. Those were the things I was dealing with at the time. So I knew I didn't want to be in America at the time. So I came back to Korea, even though I knew I would only return to teaching again, because that's what I'm allowed to do at the moment. So I came back. And there's still the excitement of being in a new school. I've taken a break from teaching for a year and a half now. I came back. It wasn't that horrible, I got into the routine of things again. And after honestly 6 months, the feelings came back. And right now it's just really bad. And sometimes, I deal with seasonal depression. A lot of people maybe do, especially in the cold months, except this started around May. I've just felt so meh. People also say things like, find hobbies, do things that keep you outside of work. I have hobbies. I do rugby, which I love. I do rugby on Saturdays, most Saturdays. Monday to Friday I work, so Saturday is the only free day, so I'm doing rugby on Saturday. Sunday I have church, which is also a saving grace. Going to church, being around that community, that space helps a lot. But Monday through Friday, what can you squeeze in when you go to work for 8 hours? You're supposed to sleep for 8 hours, so you have 8 hours to cook, read. It's just, I feel like there is not enough time in the day to get things done. I also exercise, in the winter months I would go to the gym. These days I go running outside. Granted, in the month of May till now, I had a lazy moment where I didn't feel like running. I didn't feel like being active, which made things worse, because exercising also helped keep me alive, except I wasn't doing it. So I was just home and I wasn't feeling good about myself. And it just made things worse. It was just like a cycle. I couldn't get out of it. I don't know what the solution is really. Some of the solutions, people might also say, why don't you go talk to a professional? At the current moment, I cannot afford one. I'm not going to lie. I cannot afford to pay a psychologist, to talk to a psychologist in this moment of my life. When I was in Los Angeles, so 2 years after college, the first year I did AmeriCorps. The following year I did City Year, where I was in Los Angeles for almost a year. And I had like one of those moments, and I was recommended to go talk to a professional, and I did. And one of the solutions she recommended was, after she listened to like some of the symptoms and the things I was dealing with, she was like, girl, you need to get out there, you need to go dating. Which is now bringing me to this funny part of this video is, sometimes people say you shouldn't anchor your happiness or your joy on someone else, and I understand that completely. Okay, I'm like there with you, because I'm a big fan of that. I've lived alone for some years now, so I totally understand that. I advocate for you to trust in yourself, be able to comfortably live with yourself, which is all I do. However, sometimes it's just like, sometimes I want someone else there, a partner, someone who may be able to understand you a little bit more than you, or can be there when you're feeling lonely. So when this lady recommended dating, I was like, I don't know what to do about that, because I don't know how to go about it. I don't have control over it. So she recommended dating online, like online dating, because that's what people do. And I had sworn off dating like online because of things I heard online. Like I was like, I'm never gonna do it. I'm so uncomfortable. I was also dealing with like self-esteem issues at the time. Currently getting better. We're getting better, obviously. Like I'm making this video. I've also made another video talking about like this issue of self-esteem in the past. So I decided to use a dating app at the time, and it was a weird date. Nothing had succeeded after that. There was a point even this year I was on 3 dating apps, just trying to find someone, a partner, something, a man, a friend, more than a friend, and it just didn't work. And it's like, okay, I need a break, so I cut it down to 1 at the moment. And why am I bringing this up? I guess why I'm bringing this up is because sometimes I want to be in a relationship as well. A little bit about me, I feel like I'm a late bloomer. When a lot of my peers were into dating or thinking about boys and crushing on boys, middle school, high school, I didn't care about that. I had crushes, like I think he's cute. Like, I wouldn't be able to make eye contact with people because I think I like them, but I never did anything with those feelings or emotions. They never asked me out. I never had the chance to date, so my time was never occupied with the opposite sex all through high school. College as well. It wasn't until after college, like graduating after college, that I started thinking seriously about it. No experience, obviously, and even until now, still no chance of dating. If you're not new to my channel, so you've seen a video where I talked about this amazing, horrible date that I went on, where I landed in the hospital. Unfortunately, it didn't lead anywhere promising, and honestly, I think some of my problems that I'm dealing with stem from that. Not the person necessarily, but the emotions that came from that. So this person was nice. We went on a date. It ended horribly, but we caught up at a later time to make up for lost time. And we ended up not being compatible because of my religious beliefs and things I'm choosing to abstain from until there's a long-term commitment involved, aka marriage, and it wasn't compatible with this person. So they had to say sayonara. And honestly, this is not the first time I've actually encountered this. I've had another situation where I talk to people, and they'll just hear that and they're like, sorry, peace out. And I'm not willing to like change my mind on that. That's just not something I'm gonna compromise on. Unfortunately, I'm out here like just struggling to try and find a suitable partner that has the same value as me, and it's just so hard. I'm not saying if I find this partner, then all of a sudden I'm all gonna be happy and things are gonna change. I do think it will change a little bit because I've lived alone for so long now. I just crave partnership, intimacy, that closeness just beyond regular friendship. And that's, I guess, where I'm struggling to find that, and I don't know what else to do. Just so lost, like trying to find purpose regarding job. I know teaching is not where my passion lies, and I am trying to make changes regarding that. For so long, I've been so scared to attempt going to graduate school. I know I need to go to graduate school in order to do the job that I think will bring me more purpose, like more satisfaction. So right now, I actually applied to a graduate school. That was the first program I applied to. I got denied. It was a scholarship. I'm in the process of applying to a second one. I'm waiting to hear back from them. If I get an unfortunate response from there, I also have a plan C. So I am working towards that to try and change my employment situation. However, the other situation I have no control over is trying to date or trying to socialize outside of like work and You would think I would find a suitable partner in church, but apparently none exists. Even when I was in America, when I went back home, they were not there. My current church right now, they're not there. I don't know why I am struggling. And oftentimes you talk to people and people say things like, don't you worry, it's not a problem that you've never dated before. And when you're least expecting it, it will happen. And I'm just so tired of hearing these cliches because it's not helping anymore. And I don't know what to do because you know what? I'm putting myself out there. I'm doing the things that are making me uncomfortable, like dating online. I really hate it. I know it's not suitable for me. But just back to the feelings though, I don't know what to do to change because I'm the type of person who needs like constant stimulation, and I can't be in one place for too long. I need change. Before COVID, I would travel often whenever I got like vacation or free time. COVID made things harder, so I haven't been traveling. And even now that things are getting like easier to travel around for, I'm struggling because I'm in this funk and I don't want to be around people. But I love people, but I get too overstimulated and I'm just like, oh no, enough people. And then I just resort to like being in my home. It's so complicated, right? So if you're sitting here watching and you're a psychologist, why don't you try diagnose me in the comment section? Just kidding, no, don't. But yeah, I don't know. But if you have a friend, a brother, or coworker who's a good Christian man and is single, not creepy, maybe you can just send them my way. I don't know why I'm making this video, and I'm actually very surprised that I ended up in this mood like towards the end recording this, because that's not how I've been feeling this past couple of weeks really. I've cried very often. I've cried myself to sleep a few times now. I try not to show my emotions at work, and because we're wearing masks these days, I try to hide my emotions and my feelings, but my eyes speak so much. They speak volumes. So my coworkers have noticed, students have noticed, and they'll ask, "Hey, teacher, are you okay?" So sometimes I just lie that I'm sick, but I'm not, and by God's grace, I'm not sick. It's just I'm not feeling it, and I don't know what the solution is. And I find like refuge in music. I listen to songs that uplift my spirit. I pray often. I try to talk to God. What the heck? Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to put this out there because I know that oftentimes when I'm going through these emotions and I write them down, it helps because it's just out of my head for a little bit. I enjoy making videos, and I'm hoping like maybe more people can watch this and they share similar experiences. You can share your thoughts in the responses, and I can realize maybe I'm not the only one feeling this way. But yeah, I'm just gonna end this now because I feel like this is so long. So thank you for listening, and if you have any advice, please don't hesitate to send them my way. So thank you.